Check, check. Welcome in, team. How are we doing? How was everybody's weekend? Hopefully it was great for you all. Yep, Michael, we can definitely take a look at that. Pep, I think that's Pepsi. We'll take a look for sure. Are you in that, or you want to be in that trade? Let me know in the chat. Like I always say every week, kind of helps me dictate a little bit what I say to you guys and how to trade it. You know, if you're in and in profits versus want to get in, helps me a little bit in that. All right, perfect. Appreciate you guys being here on time. Like usual, give it a couple more minutes. Let some people see the message and roll in here. Then we'll dive in with SPY and QQQ and then your requests. All right, y'all, 4 or 5 minutes after, let's get started. One more message to the server and we'll dive right in. Finn, it's good to have you in here, man. Weekend was good. Weekend relaxing. I needed it, man. Hectic work week last week, so really hope to get you guys some trade ideas this week. Of course, now SPY is just pushing, sitting at 600, so makes it a little tricky, but yeah, hopefully I can find some trade ideas for you guys. It kind of wasn't very active in the server last week, but that's just how it is. But Laurel, good to have you in here, man. All right, guys. Anytime you're in this chat, if you're new here or not new, just put your ticker in the Zoom chat. Let me know if you're looking to get into it or already in it. If you're bullish or bearish, calls or puts, we can take a look at together. So far, I only got one request, so plenty of time to get your guys' in. Try and just do one or two, just so everybody has enough time. But with that, you guys, we'll start with SPY and QQQ. Just some things, obviously, I want to go over on that. You guys know, like I talk, this is the 4-hour chart here. I always hint to you guys, round numbers, 400, 500, 600. And we are pushing up and we rejected, first attempt. Like I always say, if you're looking for a SPY 600 target, don't be late. Don't wait for it to get there and take your shot, because we can see first attempt there, selling volume was parked there and pretty convincingly. This is a 4-hour chart. So that first 4-hour candle, pretty convincingly on that first morning push or first part of the day push up to 600. So I want to start the 4-hour chart, you guys, just to show you guys kind of a big game plan, why larger time frame analysis is very important, why you need it for a trade plan. So just basically, I'm gonna scroll and zoom left here. So just hang with me, but just focus on this red zone here. That's the area of our focus here. I'm gonna go back to I think like January, February level here of this year. And we can see here the start of this push right here, basically, we'll call it January 15th, 16th, and then basically the sell through it, never making it back yet until last week. This is February 24th. Basically, we started getting all the tariff news down here. So just something to pay attention to, if maybe you're new to charting or maybe new to trading, is, why are we pushing somewhere? Why are we rejecting? This is entirely it. All this volume in here from January and February, if they triggered sells and never got sell, or sell we're seeing here, or new sell orders, whatever it is, this big range here, I'm drawing kind of a wide range because I think, the 600 to 602 is going to be a little bit tricky. Anytime we push into it, I think there'll be pushes with some fake outs that'll stop you out on some calls, and vice versa. I think there's going to be some small rejections that look good on puts, and then they buy it back up. So kind of this red zone here, again, from pretty much all of the back half of January to the start of February. This is the zone I'm focusing on. So anytime we open under or sell under the 600 zone, I'm leaning just a little bit bearish, just for some, a pullback, whether you wait for pullbacks to support levels, or you play that rejection off 600. And then definitely anytime we're up in the 600 to 602 zone, I'm not swinging trades. I'm not going, heavier on trades. I'm being more cautious. Treating it really as just a scalper zone, because I think we can see some top side wicks and some bottom side wicks as well. Anything over, once we get over, you guys, again, I'm still in this January zone, this thicker line here, anything over kind of that 603 zone. And I think short-term sellers are going to give up on trying to sell under that 600. Obviously we're $3 above it, but just speaking from, a volume standpoint, a chart standpoint, we're over some of those swing highs there once we get over that 603. So for me to think this push continues, this leg up continues, whatever you want to call it, I think we really need to reclaim that 600. A reclaim of 603, but a hold the 600, that's fine, that's good. But we still got, a lot to work within here, a lot to chew through before I think sellers really gave up. So don't be surprised if we kind of chop around. Could be as early as this week, could be next week, I'm not sure. But again, present time now, present day right here. So still on the 4-hour chart. As we push up into the zone, don't be surprised to start seeing a little bit of range action in here. We may push up to this and some hard rejections. We may kind of push in this lower range here, rejection under, some buybacks up to kind of fake you out or fake us out. So just kind of keep an eye on that zone there. I've definitely marked on your charts. For me, it's 600 flat, 687. 602 obviously is a round number, but that 602.35 I keep coming back to. Definitely that level there that I'd be watching for sure. So any questions on SPY and QQQ, how I'd trade that, you guys? As of now, in a smaller time frame, a 30-minute, we're still kind of holding that level. So I expect to push up if we hold kind of this this cluster here from Friday. If we open over that, I expect another push. I don't know if it's quick or they make us kind of work for it, but I expect another test that 600 for sure. Any sells under 599, short-term bearish on the day, I think we can easily retrace that, and my notes and my tab will probably reflect that. Any gaps under or sell under this 598, and it's probably just a little bit of a bearish pullback day for me, maybe somewhere down into here. I don't know if we get it all in one go on the day, but you know, we kind of gave up some short-term support here. So anything under 598, I'm leaning for just, you know, a bearish trend day, just to back test some levels. Doesn't mean I'm looking for all this noise down here, just to back test some levels, back test some support. But anything over that 600, you know, I need a hold, not a 1 minute candle, 5 minute candle. I want to start seeing 15 minutes, 30-minute candles hold over that for me to think this leg up continues and start looking for those Friday high zones up there. But let's see what we do with this price movement, with this price action tomorrow morning, early in the day, early pre-market, kind of see where we go from there. But if there's no questions that, I'm gonna jump on QQQ and then I'll get to your guys' requests. I see a couple more trickling in the chat. So QQQ, same thing. We are pushing into, and we kind of closed around this level here. So for me, this 530 to 530.5 pocket, we can see when we close over it, how we see a little bit of selling pressure, you know, on Thursday. So we closed right at it. We opened at it, selling pressure kicked in, ultimately closed over. Thursday push up over, that's fine. Sellers gave up short term, but once we get in there, get back to that level here, back to that red zone, that supply, selling volume kicks in. When it kicks in heavy. And it's funny how news sometimes can come out at that same thing. Back to Friday, push up. What do we have? Just a little bit of a range, not you know, a dollar chop, dollar range, what do you want to call it, this top zone, bottom zone here. Back and forth battle, back and forth battle. Buyers lost the battle short term, sell down. Big wick on the bottom side, buyback, makes sense, all this volume here. Buy back over, again, a battle at the red zone, pushed over, but again, ultimately kind of a battle back in here. So similar mindset for me this week, or especially tomorrow. 530 is my zone, my range of focus. That's what I'm focusing on tomorrow. Any opens, you know, shortly under that or not very far under, I'm very cautious, but we can play the call side for a push up. But again, I'm not looking to get long here at 530. When I look left, I see all this price action from 2 days ago. So mark that levels on your chart if you don't have it already, guys. Set some alerts, but no problem. We can take calls into here, break over, you know, reduce your risk on calls big time. Break over 530.58-ish, 530.60. That's fine. Ride that runner, but don't watch this move and go, okay, up here at 531, all these rejections here from Friday, go, okay, now I want to take calls. So that's the focus. If we open, we get a little bit bullish. We hold this 529 basically. Any opens or gaps under 529, again, bearish retracement. Not saying I'm mega bearish down here to these 522s yet, but just a retracement back in the zone here. Let's test the support here from Friday. Let's see if we get that reaction there from Thursday. Excuse me. We sell into this, you know, 527.7, and we see our bounces. Play the bounce. That's fine. Or you can short the rips, you know, back into that 529 because we know that volume's gonna be parked there. So fairly small class. The chat is pretty quiet. Any questions on QQQ? I don't see anything trickling in. I think you guys have the ability to unmute your mics. So if you guys have a question, just politely stop me and ask some questions. But with that, you guys, I'm getting to your requests now. Michael was first. Wants to get on that Pepsi. You're in 147.18 call. All right, $10 out of the money, but you got time. Let me zoom out a little bit because I don't play this. I mean, I don't play it often. I don't play it ever, but we don't chart it very often. So let me kind of get you some levels here to watch. Last week, definite kind of top range rejection here. If I look at the chart, I would say that's not surprising. Kind of coming into this lower range here that I want to see us holding here. So yeah, Michael, I kind of got your attention. Are you in profit? You don't have to say, how much money you have into it, but are you like what percent are you down, or where did you enter at? Like what day? That kind of helps me a lot. But I definitely want to see this lower range here. So I'm looking for highs, swing lows and swing highs. And I'm grabbing this zone here. I'm going to color it green for kind of our bounce zone or our demand zone. But I'm seeing these bottom side wicks here, and I want to see us holding that if we want to be bullish on this trade. I know you got time, but for me, that's pretty important. In profits, perfect. Keep selling, keep rebuying. Love it. Love to hear that. Smart trader. So what I'm seeing here, Michael, definitely, I don't like that we kind of gave up that, as of now, kind of sold through this 130, 130, 50 zone. So what I'm doing is, like I said, I'm on the 4-hour chart just for get us a ballpark where we're at. So I'm looking at all these bottom side wicks, bounces, bottom side wicks, bounces. We sell through, wicks, bounce, sell through, bounce, 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 and now we sold through and kind of closed under it. So for me, to keep being bullish on that setup, and like I said, your contracts have time, that's good. I would definitely want to see a break over this zone here and kind of hold this zone this week, whether we chop or whether we break and retest and we're back up to this 131 test. That's really what I want to see. But when we keep rejecting under this 130, the days and the times we do that, we see that selling volume kick in and kind of buy or short term give up. So for me, the chart's pretty easy. It's a pretty nice setup that you had me chart here. I like when it's that easy. I can even get a line going here. Basically this line at 130 flat, because we can see when we hold and we get bounces over it, sellers like, okay, a lot of buying pressure, we give up for now. Kind of a battle out here, because based on the 4-hour chart, that first 4-hour closed under, the second we reclaimed it. So this is the battle. I guess I could say, move this zone here down just a little bit for you, but any reclaims that 130 and hold, I think that's a definite buy. That's probably something similar that you've been doing if you've been selling in a profit. But this really nice chart, you guys are watching this, that you catch a 130 bounce and you're catching $1.30, $1 to $1.81 move up in the stock. Like this is going to pay you very, very nice. I don't know what percent that's paying you, but if you bottom tick that, definitely, that's a zone to watch there. But if we sell through this, color this red, and it now becomes resistance on the top side. I don't like that unless we're bottom taking some calls here down this 129, 4 zone. But I really want to see this hold for you, brother, just for the sake that, you're trying to be bullish on it. But again, don't be married to any trade. If markets are super weak tomorrow or Tuesday or whatever, you probably have a pretty good feel on how the stock moves. If we break that 130, get some puts, that's all right. Take it down this 129.5. Look at the exit those puts and say, okay, we're starting to bounce here on this zone here, this Friday low, maybe take your call shot again. But definitely nice chart, you guys. Yeah, it's not running big or selling big, but when I see a range like this, buy the dips, sell the rips. So buy your bottoms, sell your calls at the top. Definitely. Nice little zone there. Nice setup. Check in Chase. Want some United Health. Everyone trying to hit that one. Again, did we talk about this a week ago or 2 weeks ago? My thesis will stay the same. This will be very easy, you guys. If you guys were here, was it last? I think it was probably 2 weeks ago. I don't remember this last week, but I said selling down. Let's go the daily, or maybe it was the weekly chart. So focus on these. I think I just have 3 lines in this chart here. If we go to the weekly chart, you guys, selling down here. If I remember right, this is the COVID, not the COVID low, but the COVID range. So just a quick little lesson here. Gotta go back probably 5 years for COVID. So gotta go back more than that, damn. All right. So a sell down, this is our COVID, yep. COVID sell, back consolidation, and then a breakout. Okay, so I'm on a weekly chart here, you guys, and we zoom back to the right slowly, pushing, selling. Obviously bad news, lots of news, knocking this thing down this year. But as I look at the weekly chart, daily chart, 1 hour, 30 minute, whatever it is, I'm gonna go the 1 hour, zoom out, hang with me here. Sellers are losing the battle now. Like I said a couple weeks ago, Breakouts are not happening. That's fine. But this is not a place here. I can day trade this for puts, but this is not a place down here. Bottom of this range here, I do not want to swing puts down here on this name just because, checking the weekly, checking the daily, checking the 4 hour, it's stopping the selling here at 290 and it's stopping for a reason. It's back in that lower range there. That's why, when you get some charts, some levels on your charts, you guys, I never delete levels because as we've proven 5 years later, price comes back to it and it holds true. It makes sense. So I think it's safe to say I can still pull this out here because we're still seeing, who was this? Chase. We're still seeing the dip buys at 290. This was after hours, but even this 295 or 296 zone, even last week, someone could have caught that, would have been late 2 weeks ago. You catch that 295 chase, 296 zone, buy the dip every single time. I always tell people, you may see, my down candles are white, but you may see a red candle and it's like, well, why am I buying calls? You buy calls at support because this is bouncing short-term, near-term, price action, bouncing every single time. Sold through it after hours on Thursday, Friday. What did it do? Reclaimed and back over that 299, 300. And now the focus chase, this 302 zone. Every time we push this 302, it gives UNH trouble. The buyers, they want this breakout. The daily 9, this purple line, has now caught up, and the daily 20 is overhead. So this is overhead resistance, and this is support down here. So I would continue to buy all dips now that the daily 9 is underneath. So basically 300 flat, again, those round psychological sexy numbers I always talk about. Buy the dip all day long if it gets down into here. But sell your calls in this 302 because we know how much trouble it has. So tomorrow could be a big day. We could very well open over that. So what do we do? What do we teach you guys? What happened to my charts here? Damn it. Sorry about that, guys. What do we teach you guys? Breakout, retest. So a breakout, this is resistance all day long. Breakout, retest a 303 in a perfect world, which lines up with that candle close there on Friday. It's no accident, guys. It lines up with that top of that candle there. Lines up with all those wicks in the bottom. So Chase, any breakout, retest at 300, to me, you got to try calls. Any sell under, it's back in it for puts for me. A little bit of a risky range into here, $1 range, but any sells under 302, puts for sure, no brainer, easy trade for me, easy trade for me. But again, you guys watch this, people that want to catch this bounce, this big move on UNH, it's just basically a $3 consolidation zone here because sellers are not winning and buyers are going, hey, we don't trust this name yet. There's just so much news coming out on it. It's just uncertainty down here. It's accumulation, whatever you want to call it. But again, break out of that 303 calls for sure, brother, on that one. Decent setup for now. Decent setup, but don't be married to it. If it rejects, that's fine. All right, just going down the list. PAWN, right? Yeah. Oops. Did I type that right? There's a PANW. I think it's PANW, right? Thinking of the name, I can't think of Palo Alto. Yeah, always get that mixed up. Ooh, 200. If you're not in it already, you might be late. Let's zoom out. 200 round number. If you're not a dip buyer support and you watch a $10 move, let's see here. Yeah, big zone here at 200. I'm going back to November. So not saying you can't get long on it, but I really need to see a breakout retest of this level here because I'm back. If you guys are looking at the chart, 4-hour chart here. So this right here is November zone, December push up rejection. I know it goes higher than 200, but we see once we get to 200, if we fail to break out over, how that selling pressure kicks in very, very hard and convincingly. Selling through 200, retest at 200, rejection. So where are we at now? Why is this risky? Can calls pay? I mean, you never said you would be in calls, but let me know in the chat. But Time is running out to start a call position here. If you're asking me and how I trade, um, I see continuous higher highs, higher lows, and now we are in, an overhead supply zone around number 200. So for me, you're seeing the trend up. I need to see, basically for me, I want to see a breakout over Friday's high, a breakout retest, kind of Friday's high zone here for another leg up. If I see any sort of, I'm not going to trade this, but if I see any sort of push on this and I start seeing chop, I'm not in puts yet, but I'm definitely not want to be in calls because it tells me, it makes sense why it's kind of rejecting, having trouble breaking out here. I'm not in puts until I see a sell down retest of this level here. So basically, let's zoom in on a smaller time frame chart. See if we got that price action there from last week. Yep, absolutely. This is Friday. This is textbook trading, you guys. You guys are new to trading, so this is resistance up here, or overhead supply, but resistance zone. 200. What do you know about that? Okay, quick charting lesson. So we push up, failed breakdown. Okay, 1K says don't take calls at resistance. Wait for a breakdown retest. That's exactly what this is. A breakdown, which is this zone here. A retest of resistance. You got to be able to stomach a little bit of red. You get your puts, reasonable stop somewhere in here. Boom, sell down. You take your profit to this low zone. This is just textbook trading on a breakdown retest of puts, a puts entry. It hits 200. You take your puts. If it has a 199 strike, 198, whatever it is, 195. You sell at this morning range low. You trim heavy. Set your stops at break even, bare minimum. You try for this low here, they bounce it, boom, they stop you out of break even. That's fine. What do we do? Failed breakout again. And now what do we have? Double, triple top, whatever it is. This is just textbook trading right here. Breakdown, retest, get your puts again, sell into close. Perfect chart for a charting lesson on how to trade this. So again, present day tomorrow. Any pushes up here, failed breakouts, puts all day long. It's not just puts because you're randomly trying to short the top somewhere. It makes sense. Just Friday alone, Friday's high. So hopefully that works for you. Hopefully that's the answer you want to see. But again, we're day traders. That's fine. Break of this level here, Friday's high, basically. Breakout retests, get your calls. But for me, this is a no zone for calls and really kind of a no zone for puts unless you want to really, really be a sniper, scalp these levels here. But for me, just set an alert. Break down that level there. Trade that all day long. Nice charts, you guys, so far. Loving it. Let's see. Yeah, I'll hit Marvel real quick for you since we don't have too many requests in here. And then Laurel, you're up next. Zoom out just a bit, see where the hell we're at. A little bit of a recent double top. Zoom out a little bit more to 4 hour, see if it's making sense here. Let's just get some lines up here since obviously I don't trade this and barely even chart it. We go to the daily. 69 zones rejecting. Why is that rejecting? Yep, that makes sense for sure. Love just slapping a single line on. I'm zooming back all the way a year ago, guys. You see those swing highs when we get over, swing high when we get over, the push over continuation, the lows when we get under, selling pressure, buying pressure, buying momentum, I could say. A little bit of selling pressure, big time. Reclaim, consolidation, breakout, trend, beautiful. Now it's sell, sell, sell. I don't know if this is bad earnings. Nobody wants this name right now, but pushing back up, kind of same thing as your last ticker request. Not to rag on you, but I really need to see. I mean, this kind of easy charting. This is a good request actually because it's obvious. I'm on the daily. I need to see a breakout and a hold. If you're a swing trader, I need a large time frame confirmation. 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour hold over this for me to even want to think about swinging. Day trade on calls. If we open at that, same thing. I'll zoom in a little bit. Need a breakout over for continuation. Otherwise, we keep rejecting. We're selling. We can't be pissed. We got to look at the chart and say, it's obvious why we're rejecting here, why I rejected Friday. I mean, obviously not to the penny, but, the same zone. We look left before you even make a trade plan. Go, okay, why is it rejecting here? Does it make sense? Absolutely, this zone makes sense. We'll zoom in now. So again, just like the previous chart we just had up, break and hold, fine. But don't cheer on your calls. You caught the support bounce, but guess what? Friday's double top looms not too far away, basically 75 cents away, 60 cents away. So, take the profit, pat yourself on the back, but you better not be holding the full position up here when I see a clear, obvious double top from not a month ago, not a week ago, just one trading day ago. Any pushes up here, easy, rejection. Opening range is set, take your puts because you want to see price action like this, sell down, take your puts for a day trade. Where do we sell? Down in this cluster down here, down into Friday's close. We sold through that. Oh, now you're in big profit. Start looking left here, these zones here, Friday's open, all this stuff down here. But very, very easy chart for me to trade. If someone were to ask me how would I trade this, like I love it when it's cut and dry like this. Like, basically I want to see a break over Friday's high. But again, if you're, pretty good trader, pretty good discipline, you can buy that 69.16 breakout retest for some calls. Nice setups here though, you guys, definitely. IWM, I think we hit this, did we chart this last week or 2 weeks ago, Laurel? This is kind of fun to come back to. I think we're charting somewhere in here, weren't we, brother? I can't remember, but basically, guys, if you're looking at this, this is looking nice. This is small caps ETFs, small cap ETFs. We have a range from basically the whole month of May, May 8th, whatever, range, 210 failed breakout, 210 failed breakout, 210 failed breakout, 202 will just call it support bounce, 210 failed breakout, 202 support bounce, 210 failed breakout. Finally, what do we get? We get a gap and go, a gap over our top range here, and a hold, a convincing hold too. Very, very nice setup here, you guys. So I know Laura likes to trade this one a lot. Let me get a couple more because it's not just, hey, straight shot to 217 here. Let's get a couple more lines going in here. It's definitely we could play that back test for sure. I like that. Let's see if that lines up. Oh yeah, lines up for sure with that right there for sure. Zoom left. Yeah, that's good enough just for now. Let me grab this bottom zone here. A 4-hour chart here, just trying to get you a game plan. For me, guys, just the quickest charting, I like to look for swing highs and lows. I like to look for some wicks. Bottom side wick right there. I'm just trying to make it obvious where, yeah, that 214 I think is doable. Yeah. Are you in this one, brother? Let me know. Good trade. Yeah, 1DT. Let me know if you're in this. If not, I would definitely, this would be my game plan on this, you guys. Again, it's the ticker's IWM. Let me go to 1 second, smaller time frame here. 1 hour chart here, guys. So this is my focus. If I were to trade, I don't trade this one often. This would be my focus here. I'm looking at Thursday's basically pre-market candle right there. Thursday 2 weeks ago, 2 Thursdays ago. And so we start looking recent and, we pushed up and, is a battle there. Does the battle make sense? Yeah. The wick there is obvious. There's some pre-market, there's a ghost print, there's a whale, whatever you want to call it, dark pool. There's some price action there that makes sense for sure. And so we had that battle there Friday at close, and ultimately nice breakout and a hold. Okay, so here's how I trade this. Again, guys are making these me fairly easy charts tonight. So let me see if a trend line, a couple scenarios here. Yeah, I'll roll with that. It's a little far away, but 1, 2, 3 kind of sort of wicks there in that trend line. And might have a little bit of a channel going here. I don't want to force it, but it's always good to draw upper and lower trend lines as well. So this will kind of be my game plan. You guys are kind of watching this trade, or maybe you like this trade, this name. Top range, after hours top range, pretty much market open top range, and then never got there after hours. So you either kind of ride, if this is my daily 9, so if this kind of keeps holding here, I would say, like we say, just kind of ride the trend up to this 212.7, but be cautious of overhead resistance and overhead trend line. Best case scenario, better risk reward is a little bit of a sell, pre-market, or even if you miss the open, A hard sell, if they slam into this 211.27, 211.25, if they slam into that and you see no follow through, you start seeing some bottom wicks like this, maybe on the 15-minute or something. That's kind of, gets my ears perked up a little bit of, hey, I took my puts here at open fine, but I should be kind of scaling out here because this level's kind of chopping a little bit, holding. Rest of the markets are looking good. Any dip and hold to this level here, I think that's a safe buyback for calls, because ultimately you want to see a candle body close like that and a breakout, that price action just like that from Friday. So any sell and hold there is a better scenario, because then you can kind of try and get this whole move on the day. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. We can very well clear this 212.7, go to 213, and blast this trend line. Just say we're super bullish. But I would definitely be scaling out long day trade swings. That 214 zone there, 214 zone there. You swung a put 210 for the 9th. Oh, all right. Well, damn it, brother. Fade on the weekend's going to eat you up a little bit, but based on where we closed, if we gap down, if we can gap under basically 211, it's not looking like it as of now, but if we can gap down tomorrow morning on that 211, this gap down will offset that weekend faded just a little bit. You're probably still going to be in the red, but again, any sell under, you're already in, you're already red if you're not heavy. For me, if we reject this zone here, if you're in a starter position, I would add to that and probably can get out on break even bare minimum, even if you bought the top here. But if you bought somewhere down here at the bottom, maybe break even. But if we sell into this, we hold this level, you got to cut that, brother. Or if we open and push, you got to cut that shit right away and just take the loss, shake it off mentally, whatever, and just move on for it. Because right now that's a pretty nice close Friday. Forgot to close it early Friday. Need to close it early tomorrow. Yeah, not all hope sauce, man. We chat in the DMs a lot. Let me know if you need some more help. Calvin sitting in 16 530 calls. QQQ. Let's do it. 1 second. Drink of water. Gonna go back. I'm not gonna sugarcoat the setup, Calvin, but I'll help you get through it for sure. As in, I don't like calls up here, but when it breaks out, I hope it breaks out for you, brother, because OOT, we are a team. We want people to succeed. So, let's see. Also sitting in profit for, okay. Let's see, let me read this. 530 call. You're at the money. Don't hate that. You got time. Okay, let me back up a little bit. I don't hate that trade. Unmute your mic if you want, Calvin. Are you in profit on those 530s? You can let me know in the chat, or
Yep.
like what?
Yeah, I got them a little over a week ago.
A little over a week ago, so somewhere. Yeah. Oh, so you're on those 530s. You're in profit too, then, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, brother, I'm not going to sugarcoat it since I know you're in profit. If you haven't trimmed up here, man, you definitely be trimming. I'm not singling you out. I'm just saying to everybody else, trade the chart, not the percent. So, you're up nice. I don't know what percent. You don't have to say if you don't want to, but whether someone's up 200% or 3%, and I see resistance up here, like to me, it says scale out of calls. You're in 16 of them. That's fine. I don't know your port size, but how I would trade this, definitely trim into here if we get, especially if we get some choppy price action. I know you got time. I mean, you got like 6 or 8 weeks, but just reduce some risk, because the worst thing that could happen is you're in a bunch. Maybe you trim, maybe you didn't. You got time. You've seen the move up. You've seen the profit. And what do? We get some news because Trump is meeting with China's president right now. And if we get news on like tariff news falling through, that is, we're probably going to sell pretty hard, whether it lasts, 10 minutes or an hour of the day. We come back here like 522 and you're going to be hating life. Like, why did I watch, a $9 sell, not sell it, So you got time and you got multiple. So definitely trim, book some profit, free up some buying power. But any break and hold of really this range from a Friday, a little bit on Thursday, like continue to hold that, man, because you bought the dip, you bought the breakout, whatever it is, you have time. And that's where you guys that want to try and swing, This is where you reward yourself. If you have the ability to get in a couple and you're not full porting, and we break out this overhead supply, like that's how you catch those big winners, those long runners, those ones, those nice swings. But again, I gotta see that breakout over just for day trade or swing perspective. Because yeah, if you bought in, shit, if you bought in down here, you're sitting nice on a seven,
Yeah,
eight.
I got it. I got it when it was like 508 at the time.
Oh, 508.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, I actually looked the date wrong. Yeah, I bought them when it was 508. It was a
yep.
makeup because I sold my 480 calls. I had
Uh-huh.
like 26 of them. Ended up making about 15, 16,000, but then I kind of got sad because I sold it too early.
Right, right.
Should have kept them. They didn't
Yep.
expire till July, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, man. You got at least on these other ones or new entries, whatever you want to call it, you definitely got the momentum on your side. But again, when I see, like I said, just I'm playing the chart, I see this over and over and over. It says, hey, start scaling out some longs. I know Tilio's talked about in his tab. And if you guys were in his chat today, his Zoom chat for Pro, he's saying I'm starting to reduce risk here. Doesn't mean he's just loading up on puts. It means, hey, if you bought the bottom, fine. If you're smart, you bought the bottom support. This is just top range selling us, hey, reduce some risk here. But definitely, brother. I mean, like I said, I don't know how many you're in to start with or your port size, but if I was in 16, I would sell 10 or 11, and then whatever percent they're up, I would just say, you know, bare minimum, if we slice this 522, if you really want to let them ride. But for me, I'm a super conservative trader. I'm going to book that because what it does, it secures profit in your account or, hypothetically in your account. You always got to pull it out to pay yourself, but it frees up buying power. And then we leg up, guess what? Leave those 5 runners. And what do you do? That money you just freed up, roll into some, 540s with time, some 538s with time, and get this possible. If we get positive China news, we're probably going to blast and we're going to leg up and just keep paying yourself. You leave those runners up huge, no stress. And now you leave 530 as your hard stop on those. You get into some new ones and you ride that leg up, brother. That's how it's done on swings. I mean, you got in down here. That's what everybody wants. Everybody hopes for. So can't fault you on that, man. You're probably up pretty nice. So, but like I said, I'd be selling for sure if you haven't already up there, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Appreciate it, man.
Yep, for sure. Anybody else? I'm not in a hurry to go anywhere. Definitely, we got 20 minutes left. I can look. I actually I want to show you. I think it's Apple, AMD, Nvidia. You guys, I know you guys like train tech, or maybe it's Apple, Nvidia. Let me chart a couple for you guys. Some things I'm watching here. Basically, this zone here on Apple. Let me extend this really quick. I don't trade this a lot, but for swing trades, you guys, this is. I'm not saying swing in this market because it can be risky, but I like this on Apple for lots of reasons. So we talk about supply, overhead resistance, demand is accumulation zone at the bottom, big support zone. So what do we see here on Apple? I'm on the 1 hour chart, you guys. Swing highs, selling back down into support. Support gave way. Big blast over. I can't remember what that news was, tariff news, whatever. Doesn't matter right now, but back under it. And now last week, consolidation and a battle here. So breakouts are not happening. Breakdowns, after hours, I would say. But look at these buybacks. Look at this buyback on Friday. And 2 more things here. What I was talking about in swing trades. Find a big ass support and where your moving average is at. Locate your moving averages. Are they overhead, pushing down overhead, or are they underneath you? Look at these 2 moving averages stacked underneath. I don't want to go the daily because it's probably going to be kind of a little bit of a clusterfuck here just because of the price action. But these moving averages, this purple is the 9 and the green is the 20. They're now stacked underneath you. Look where this 20 is at, you guys. Let me zoom in here. It is stacked here right at support at 204. So for me, I know we're seeing rejections here, but this is on breakout alert for me. Any sells here under this 203.36, I'm back bearish on this name. This is kind of no man's land in here. But if we start holding this zone for a couple of days and breakouts are still failing, this is where I'm not saying you should guess and try and time the breakout, but this is a prime setup where we might look back a week from now and go, hey, consolidation, and we get this breakout and it never looks back over last week's high. And now we have our 2 moving averages curling underneath us. Like this is going to be one of those dumb moments like, shit, why don't we take that time? And so when I'm saying swings, you guys, I don't mean 4 days DT. I'm talking it was Calvin. he's in some July contracts. So I'm talking end of June into July contracts where, if we chop this range here, what are my drawings? If we kind of chop this range here, you got July contracts. You can sit through, 15% rent on those contracts, whatever it is. If you buy here, we sell through here on those July contracts, hypothetically. But this is what I like to see. Breakouts are not happening, but breakdowns are failing because they're bouncing the moving averages, they're bouncing support. I think this is definitely one to keep an eye on for Apple for sure, you guys. But again, not financial advice. This is just my opinion. I like this level here. Basically, I need to see this 204 hold this week. Getting some longs, because if you bottom take 204, get some July 208s, that's going to pay you very, very nice if you catch a run up here for sure. One more real quick, and I see one more request that trickled in. I'll get to it. Was it AMD or NVIDIA? It was AMD. AMD is one to watch too, you guys. More of a day trade perspective, but we can kind of see these swing highs here. This break over this 116.28-ish, not pinching pennies here, but kind of this close zone here. We sell through, we get up to it, we see selling pressure kick in. Pre-market selling pressure. Tuesday last week, the battle there last week, what happened? 116. What happens when we get over that? Sellers give up. What happens when they dip buy? Buyers kick in, sell into it. Thursday, sellers kind of go up, but guess what? A big buyback. AMD is big time on watch for me. I don't trade a lot. Might have a little bit of a little pin going in here, but trend line holds, you guys, for a day. This is a day trade setup. I don't really love it for swings yet, but a day trade setup on AMD. That 116.28, or kind of, you guys can kind of mark it if you want to just kind of drag this level down, make it a little more accurate. Those candle body closes there, that wick there, those candle body closes, but we may slice this trend line pre-market, that's fine. But if I see a hold here at this level, I'm not interested in puts whatsoever. Can they pay if they break? Absolutely. But again, look at all those buyback wicks there just from Friday alone. Like I said, that wasn't a month ago. That was one trading day alone. So any sell down into this and hold, I think AMD is a really good candidate for a bounce play for a day trade. And your targets, where do I sell? Easy. Look left. Look at those candle body closes. Look at those wicks. Make it easy. Don't make it tough on yourself. This, what does this line up with? Right here. It's easy. When you have this price action just from last week, your target should be easy, you guys. You never enter at 116. You go, okay, I'm looking for 119. No. All this shit's in between here that could potentially stop you out or reverse on you. So AMD is another one to watch, you guys. I definitely like this out a lot. Yuri, can I check ORLY? Never heard of it. Let's do it. I kind of like them because O'Reilly. Oh shit. Stock split for tomorrow, 15 to 1. Yeah. Oh shit. It's at $1,400. This thing better split. Damn. Why is this not split yet? This is like Chipotle, and Chipotle is super expensive. Yeah. This is just curling. I'm kind of seeing like a on the daily here. Was hoping that pin it lined up a little more tighter, but kind of that top side zone here, but definitely in the bottom, it's a little more defined here. I guess it's only 2 touches, not super defined, but kind of just caught in this range here. Are you looking, did you have questions about the split, or are you just looking to get some shares or what? But I mean, yeah, definitely the split. I mean, it's not, it's just definitely a zone to watch there if you're looking to buy some shares on it. I mean, it's, the levels will make sense, but the price will be different tomorrow if they do a stock split. So whatever the math is, you smart people, 15 to 1. Thinking about investing in options once it happens. Yeah, definitely. $1,400. Shit, I don't know how much those contracts are gonna be. They're super expensive, but some quick charting for you. Just definitely keep an eye on. I'm gonna just draw some ranges, just since you're not in it. But so whenever they split, kind of this 1390 to 1400 zone, whatever that 15.1 to be equivalent, but we can clearly see top range rejections and kind of a cluster in there, and then we sell through, and then your bounce zone there. So once that split happens, yeah, tomorrow or Tuesday. Just watch for that zone there. So get some lines. If send me a DM, I can help you with some charting more. But as far as investment for shares, obviously, let me see where we at on the weekly. Is this all-time high? Oh yeah, all-time high zone probably. Yeah. So I mean, it's expensive. It's going to be a lot cheaper this week, but from an investment standpoint, as long as this cluster holds into here, stay investing. You know, if you're gonna, say your total position size on shares, that I'm just using a round number because it's easy. Say it's $1,000. You never, minus the stock split. Don't buy here at support at 1360 and put all. Well, shit, you can't even hit one share for 1,000. That was a bad number. So say it's 5,000. Okay. Don't put all 5 shares here at 5,000. Scale in because you want to see, if we trickle down into here, because the good part about shares is you don't have to be right tomorrow in a week. You just want to be right over time. And so if we trickle into here, you want to see these levels hold down into here into this zone. But weekly, all-time high zone up here. Even from an investment standpoint, if we start breaking into these 1300s, we could be selling more. And I don't know percent wise, how big of a sell that's going to be down for you, but that's where I'd start be wanting to scale. I guess it's only 5% up here, but you're just breaking a big support zone up here. This big leg up, cluster consolidation, leg up, consolidation, leg up, consolidation, hasn't legged up yet. So if we come down, that's probably a trend reversal setting up. So definitely something to watch there. Nothing else. Shoot, we can end on time. SPY and QQQ recap. We kind of went over QQQ. I can do SPY again if you guys would like. If you guys want to jet out of here a little bit early, appreciate you guys sticking around. I'm gonna do a recap on kind of what I'm thinking, what I'm looking for this week, you guys. Not gonna lie, if I start seeing some rejections here, the risk this week, you guys, is we can be in a put play or a call play, and the risk this week is going to be, I think, probably tomorrow and Tuesday, is that China news. And what's going to happen is, if the news falls through, we're going to be in some calls that look good, and we're probably going to get a kill candle. And then, 30 seconds later, there's going to be a tweet about, US, China could not come to an agreement on, tariff deal or whatever. And we're probably going to sell a little bit. Or you might be in calls and we get some news on positive news. We're going to break out. We're going to get a big, they call it the Holt candle, big green candle. It's a blue candle for me. But so that's just something to keep an eye on, probably tomorrow or Tuesday. So just be mindful of that. Or, we could be in puts. And if news comes out, we get a big green candle, they're going to stop you out. Or if that trade deal falls through, we're going to get a nice kill candle on those puts. And so, news aside, news pending, my focus, all week long, especially tomorrow, is that 600 zone. Go down the 15-minute here. It's easy. If I see, got a question or someone have an open mic? Let me know if you got a question. If I start seeing rejections, this is easy, just from Friday. Failed breakouts. Yeah, I'm on the 15-minute. Like, we could have caught that play, but to me, that's still a failed breakout on a longer time frame. So breakdown, retest, puts all day long. Failed breakout, get your puts. Again, you got to be able to sit through some red. I'm not saying 0 DTs every time. We're rejecting here. It makes sense, that cluster there. Puts all day long. Rejection, puts all day long. That is my focus this week at 600. Again, any breakouts over that, fine. We'll ride the leg up. But again, this is caution zone for me to start a call position up here. Like, we catch the move here at $5.99, catch a dollar move, that's fine. But I'm not gonna watch flips saying, oh, selling at 80%, 90%, 130%. I'm not gonna go, okay, now I want calls here at 600. That's not how we do it, guys, because it's probably gonna reject again. So that's my focus there on 600. Anybody have any questions? Big Joe, TMUS, let's do it. T-Mobile. Oh, shoot. Learned a bunch of new names tonight. Daily. Oh, baby. I see something. Do you guys see what I see? Lower highs a curling rounding bottom and sellers are not winning anymore. You see that, Big Joe? I hope you do. This is not gonna be perfect here. I'm gonna have to draw through one candle, but just kind of what I'm kind of looking at here. So a little bit of a cheat there. It doesn't really go through. Maybe this would be better on it. Let's see if I draw. If I draw like this, maybe that's a little more accurate without cheating. Yeah, I like that a little better. So not perfect on those candle body touches, but definitely something I'm watching here. And what I'm seeing here, Joe and other people watching is, wait 1 second. Let's get some lines in here for you guys. Looking left here, rejecting where we should. Yep. Big buyback there. Candle body close there. Yep. Big cluster there. Didn't quite get there on Friday. Bounce zone. Yep. Bounce zone. All those wicks there. Yep. Kind of a middle of the range. Grabbing that wick there. Yep. All right. So what I'm seeing here is pretty clear and obvious, similar to what was at United Health. So selling down, stair stepping down. And for the first time, we didn't step lower here. You know, we didn't break this trend line. We didn't break this support. What are we doing? We are attempting, as of now, I would say this is a pretty clear, at least from this point. What do we have, you guys? We have a trend reversal. I know it's not perfect up here, but down, 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 leg down, leg down. Leg down stops, trend reversal up. And now what do we have here? A low, slightly higher low, convincing higher low, convincing higher low, convincing higher low. And all this is, guys, is just breakouts, retest, breakouts, retest, breakouts, retest. So I'm seeing this. Are you in this one, Joe, or just want some perspective on it?
I just wanted some perspective. I was looking at it a few days ago, and then
Yep.
yeah, but I see that though, man. I think it looks like it wants to go up.
It's ready. It's got some a few things working against it, but right now I think it's got a few things working for a little more working for it. So let me delete this just so it doesn't get too messy here. But you're looking at like day trade options. You're looking for like equity share position on it.
No, yeah, just option trading.
Yeah, for sure, man. So clear as day for me. This 246 zone here. Like if I kind of draw this thicker, just so it's easier for you guys to see there on your phones, whatever. So I mean, clear as day. Rejection, 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 sell through, sell through. So what do? We know where we got to get over if you want to be bullish, and we know when we sell through it where it's super easy to get bearish on it. We're day traders, like I say, don't get married to the trade. But this is, you guys have really good requests all night. This is pretty obvious to me. If we break, we'll see if we trust that little tiny volume candle there. Excuse me, I lose my voice. Any holds under this 246, brother, can't get long unless I'm kind of dip buying here. This 245 here, that kind of makes sense. Or if you're if you don't like buying puts for whatever reason, that's fine. If you want sellers take their turn, as River calls it, right into here, because you got two moving averages, the 20, the 9, and a support that's kind of stacked here. So this can kind of go both ways. And what I would do, brother, is I would just set alerts. I would say, hey, let me set alert here at 246 and one down here. And if you don't like trading these ranges, because this is a clear range, right in here, it's a $3, is that right? Yeah, $3 range in here. So if we believe this after hours candle here, and let's just say we're weak tomorrow, this is a very good dip buy. Like I say, I know sometimes it can look like sell, 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 but it's like, to me, this is sell, sell, sell into support all day long into this 243. So if you can catch a sell into here, and maybe you're busy at work or whatever, and you see this trigger here, and then sellers are kind of I don't have a quick example here on the charting, but you kind of see this price action here, not this candle, but this price action here where we sell into it and there's no progress under. To me, that says, hey, look to buy the dip around some calls again, because you've essentially, if you catch this bottom, you've bottom sniped. This is the top of the range, it's the bottom, so you've sniped this $3 range right in here, which is very good. So you can catch the dip buy here, or let's just say we kind of gap up in the middle. Reclaim a 245, definitely sell your calls into profit at 246 because we see just last week how tricky that is. You're a baller, you're in 10 of them, sell 8. And now we break over this 246 zone here. Leave your runners, or you can even scale into some new positions. But basically, markets are open, breakout, retests. You miss your calls or whatever. Breakout, retest all day long, but just with caution because we can see the breakout follow through. It could very well fail for us. So does that kind of make sense how I would trade that, or how, something to look for on that? But if we push up, ride that wave to Friday's high all day long, but definitely, kind of trim there. If you catch a $1.50 move, that's going to pay you very, very nice on that trade, man.
Yeah, thanks, bro. I appreciate that.
Yep, absolutely, man. With that, guys, my clock just ticked 6 o'clock on the West Coast, so I'm gonna end it here. Appreciate you guys all sticking around. AJ, Big Joe, Decadence Fitness, JT, Love, Laurel, Marco, Michaels, Raheem, Ryan, all you guys, Yuri, Zoom user. Thanks for sticking around, you guys. Thanks for putting in the time to learn. You guys are the ones who will be successful time after time because you guys are putting the time after hours. But with that, you guys, get in the chat. DMs are always open. I should hopefully be a lot more active this week with DMs and some trade ideas. That project I was working on is finished for now. So hopefully I can have some fun with you guys this week. But with that, you guys, I'm in the chat. Have a great rest of your night. Shout out to you later.